What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and welcome to our 4-week-long on-field wide receiver workout plan 2.0. So this is a little bit different than the 1.0. If you guys are familiar with it, with our version 1 of this, or if you guys are buying this as a bundle with the version 1, but I'm going to be doing a voiceover and walking you through each day of the plan. So the plan that I see in front of me, you guys all have access to this plan. This was emailed to you when you guys purchased this plan through the digital document that we sent to you guys. So you guys have each day to day, but I figured it'd be a little bit easier to follow if I broke it down step by step and kind of walked you through each drill with a voiceover of each drill rather than explaining each drill and then showing the drill full speed. So I hope this helps you guys out. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to support@firstdowntraining.com. It's the email at the top of the document that we sent you guys. You could ask any questions there, 24/7 support. So we'll get back to you as soon as we can with any questions you might have. Okay, so now let's get into this thing. So we're going to go through each day of the plan on a document like so. I'm going to kind of highlight the specific things that we're going to be focusing on. I'm going to show you the clips. I'll break down any important version of the clips, or if it's a clip that maybe we're pretty familiar with, or maybe it's a pretty simple drill, we won't spend too much time on it. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out to support@firstdowntraining.com or leave any questions in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as we can. Okay, so now, before every single workout, we are going to be doing this routine. We're going to be doing the dynamic warm-up and the everyday drills, okay? So that's something that we emphasized in the version 1, if you guys were familiar with that. If not, no worries. But the dynamic warm-up and the everyday drills is something you will be doing every single day, okay? So first thing we got is we have A skip, B skip, C skip, karaoke, toy soldiers, quad pull, and knee hugs. Everything is 2 sets of 15 yards. We're not going to spend too much time on the sets and reps, just mainly explaining each drill because you guys have the sets and reps in front of you. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. And then we have the everyday drills, okay? So the everyday drills, we have this ladder double up stick. We're going to go 3 sets each side, like I said, snap fall, a snap transition with a fall, a run then drop drill, and then a 90-degree cut off of it, okay? So these are all simple drills you guys can do every single day, so let's just get right into it, okay? So first thing we got is we're going to be taking a look at A skip here, okay? So this A skip is a great, this is the start of the track warm-up, right? So the A skip is pretty much just where snatching that knee up, snatching that toe up, 2 sets of 15 yards. Then B skip is kind of the same thing, but what we're doing is we're bringing the knee up like the A skip, and then you guys are like slapping it down, almost like you have to step over a really small gate right here, and you have to step out, okay? This is a great thing to work on that hamstring, to work on that stride. This whole warm-up is a track warm-up, okay? So I'm going to play this full speed to go. Yeah, so we got B skips, and then we're going right into C skips where your back is turned. Now, this isn't necessarily like the traditional C skip. If some of you guys are familiar with that, where you go like A skip right into out, like an outward C skip. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't even worry about it. But this is more of like an easier version, I guess you can say. It works on the same thing. So your back is turned and you're just going up and out. You're bringing that knee up like the A skip, and then you're just bringing it all the way out to get those hips loose. And then high knee karaoke, that's pretty simple. I'm sure everybody's familiar with that one. And then what we have as well is we have toy soldiers right here, where we're going opposite hand, opposite toe. And then after the toy soldiers, we're going to be getting right into this quad pull, where you're pulling the quad, reach into the sky, pull the quad, reach to the sky every 3 steps. And then we're getting right into a knee hug. So this knee hug is going to be one that we really have to emphasize, coming up on this opposite toe right here, really raising up and shooting your hips through to get that good stretch. Okay, so now we're going to get into the everyday drills, right? So this first ladder drill is going to be like a double up. So really what it is just a double move. It's not like a single cut in each ladder. It's going to be just a 1-2. So you're going out, then back in. So out, then back in. So let's watch this full speed. So it's out, in. Out, in. Just throwing right into that box, throwing that 1-2, 1-2, and then throwing the separate 1-2 again. That's all you guys really need to work on that. Like I said, we're going 3 sets on each side. Emphasize really throwing that hip into each box. Okay, so now next one we got is we have this snap fall. So this works on us dropping my hips at the top of a break. So all it is you're just going to be pretty much falling straight forward into this movement. So you're literally just falling forward, using your hips to catch you and using your hips to kind of decelerate you at the top of this route. So you're going to fall right here, hips, and at the last possible second you are going to drop into this explosive position. That's the spot that we want to try to get to, because if I could drop into this explosive position where I could be violent with my hips, then I'll be able to drive out of a break and stay in that explosive spot. This is the spot that helps me stop at the top of a route. So we got 2 sets of 4 on this. Again, we were just standing up and we are literally just straight up falling into it. I'm falling all the way down, chest first, and I let my hips catch me on this thing, okay? So next drill is going to be the same idea. Now it's the transition steps, right? right? So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take the same first step, but you're taking a second step out of it. So all this is for is to work on you guys actually staying low at the top of the break. So that's all it is. You're falling into the break, using your hips to catch you, but we take that transition step right after this thing to work on that balance at the top of the route. Okay, so now, those are all the ladder drills you could be doing. Those are the dynamic warm-up. That's the everyday ladder drills. Now we're getting into the everyday hip drills and route running drills that you could do. So this first one is a run and drop drill, or this is the main one that I would have. And so really all it is you could do this with a partner. If not, you could just break on a specific step, like your third inside step, for example. So like if I were playing this, like that's your first inside, you would take another one, second inside, take another one. Then on the third inside, you would drop your hips down. Now on this clip, this is like how we could get more out of this drill is if you have a partner, have him give you a go call and then a drop call. And whenever you hear that drop call, you're going to drop your hips like so in this video. So you're going to hear your partner say drop, and then you're going to drop your hips and completely decelerate. This just works on you guys selling vertical into a route and trying to make that DB thing fade every single time and not preparing for the break by slowing down. It helps you work on keeping speed into the top of the route where you could drop your hips and be violent to get out of this thing. Okay, so now the next variation of it is going to be running a route off of it. So it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing that we just did, but we're going to be going full speed into the break. I'm dropping my hips when partner says drop or off of a specific step, and then I'm going to get out of the route on a 90-degree cut. So like a dig route or like a 10-yard in. So let's watch this again, full speed one more time. Great job bursting up, hips dropping down, and then being able to accelerate out. So on the drop call, we're not just concerned with dropping my hips, we're also concerned with getting out of the break and accelerating out of the break to widen the distance with the DB. That works on all three phases of the route: the stem, the break point, and then the acceleration out of the break. Okay, so that is the last everyday drill. So now we're going to be getting into day one of the route running, or day one of the on-field plan, and the main focus is going to be route running and snapping down. Okay, so this will go a little bit faster. You just got to understand that that dynamic warm-up and those everyday drills that we just discussed are going to be in every single day that we're going to be on the field besides the rest days. Okay, so now let's get into this thing. So first things first, first drill we're going to be doing is a snap fall two-step 4-cone drill, and you're bursting off the fourth cone. So it's kind of like that transition drill that we saw with our everyday drills, but really it's going to be more emphasized on dropping your hips. Then we got full 90 cuts. So we're going to be breaking and running a actual dig route similar to that everyday drill that we did where I give you the drop call and you drop your hips, but instead we're going to have like an energy lane where you could run through, but it's going to be for those 90-degree cuts. And then the next one that we got in the second split here is, and when I mean split, that just means like different sets. So the first set, you'd be working on the snap fall and then the 90 cuts. Then for split 2, you'd be working on this fall pivot drill and then full 45s, a lot similar to full 90s. And I'm going to show you how these are all going to look full speed. And then we have this med ball lunge sideways throw to work on you guys' explosiveness and balance at the top of the break. Okay, so no full routes today, but those are good. That's going to be the main focus of the plan. And then we'll get into day 2. Okay, so now, first thing we got, this is that snap fall drill. So all we're doing is we're just literally falling forward, snapping 2 steps at the top of this break to work on catching myself. It's really important that you emphasize being in this low position. Now on this last cone right here, you're going to be falling into it and you're going to be accelerating out on a 90-degree cut. So I fall into this break right here, 1, 2, and I drive out. That's all we are doing. We're working that 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we're bursting off of this last one. Then what you want to be able to do is switch sides. So if you guys could switch sides on this one, you see how you were going left, right, you would switch sides and do the same break into it, but you'd be going right, left. Okay, so now let's get to the next drill on this. That's the first drill. Now, here are the full 90 cuts that we were talking about, right? So that full 90 cut is where we're bursting up and we're going straight down the middle of this thing on a 90-degree angle. This right here, you want to treat it as an energy lane. And on the plan, it says that you're breaking off of your third inside step. So your third inside step, that's your first inside. Then this right here, that's your second inside. Then that's your third inside. And the third inside is where you guys are dropping your hips and actually getting low. When you guys get to college and when you guys get to a more advanced program, it's no longer we're going to be running a 10-yard dig. It's no longer a 12-yard dig. It's a dig, but you're going to be going off your third inside step, especially when it's against zone coverage. So you have to make sure that we are dropping on the third inside, set up the cones accordingly. If you're on a field, it'll probably take you to about 8 to 10 yards, but make sure we have this lane. Make sure I'm dropping on the third inside. I'm getting in that low position to drive out the middle of this energy lane. Okay, I'm going to play this full speed so you guys can see it real quick. So I'm going to rewind it, and then I'm bursting up here off the third inside step, dropping the hips, and being able to get out of this route to work that change of direction. Okay, so now we're working this 45-degree angle. So this is going to be like that snap fall, same thing that we were doing in the everyday drills where we're falling into the break. But instead of taking just 2 steps, we are going to be pivoting with my inside foot, right? So you see how I fall into this and I pivot hook, right? So you're going to pivot, then hook, and you're going to stick the first one. Then we're going to play it up again. Then what I'm going to do into this next one is I'm going to fall into it. I'm going to pivot hook, again, 2 sets of the pivot hook where I'm just holding it. Then on the third one, I'm going to do the same thing, pivot hook, but I'm pushing off of this hook step and driving down this lane. I'm driving down the middle of this energy lane, just like what we were emphasizing with that 90-degree cut, okay? So now that's the first drill for the 45s. Now the second drill for the 45s is going to be just a full 45-degree angle cut. So it's going to be off of my fourth outside step. So you see how I come off here? That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. I'm dropping right on the fourth. That's going to build throughout the rest of the entire plan what foot you are going to be breaking off of, okay? Every single route that we run when we go live routes, it's always going to be off a step. So the sooner we could get used to that, the better, right? So that's my fourth outside step where I'm dropping this thing off. So let's watch it full speed. Treat this same thing like the energy lane. Don't worry about steps. Just worry about being violent with your hips at the top of the break. So I burst up here, full stride, dropping the hips violent, and then I'm able to accelerate out of this thing and get back to that ball. So now this is that med ball side throw. We're going to be doing this a lot throughout the course of these 28 days. So what you're going to do, you can either have a wall right here or you could have a person standing here catching for you, but all you're going to do is you're going to have one leg up. This works on the position that you need to get to when you snap down into a break. And all we were doing is we're doing these like rotation throws and slamming this ball up against a wall. That's pretty much all we're doing. We're just rotating here, slamming this thing up against a wall, or you have a partner right here to catch it for you, but we're going to work that on each side. So when we switch sides, we're going to flip and face the other way, and you're going to have the right leg up, and you're just literally just rotating and throwing this ball. That's that last exercise at the end of the plan. The reason why I want to emphasize this too, fellas, is just so you guys understand that there's a lot of details that go into each one of these drills. This is a more advanced plan. This is a more specific plan. So you guys have to love the details to be able to improve your game, and that's why we walk you through each specific drill on this plan, okay? So that, I believe, is the end of day 1. Now we will get into day 2, okay? So day 2 right here, most important thing about day 2, we're working on press releases. We're going to have a catching routine that we're going to do, but again, dynamic warm-up, everyday drills, same as usual. Don't need to go over that. First one we got is we're going to be emphasizing a diamond release with this zigzag 3-step stick drill. And then for our second split, we're going to be doing a hezi slide drill, just working on the slide portion of the release. And then for split 3, we have full routes. So we're going to be doing a hezi slide diamond release. I'll show you what that is. A hezi slide and go, and then a hezi slide diamond double up fade. All those routes build off of each other. Then for our last split, we're going to be taking you through our tennis ball routine where we are going to be bouncing off the wall, 75 catches, and then 25 catches over the head. We'll explain both of those drills here in a second, okay? So now, first thing you're going to set up these cones as that zigzag drill to work on the diamond release. Because what a diamond release is you're lined up here, you have a DB who's inside shade, you take 3 steps on a 45 to get him to jump, and I slip back underneath on a slant route. So these 3 steps right here, we're just taking 3 steps zigzagging out of the cones. That's what this emphasizes. So let's watch this full speed. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And obviously you want to quicken it up a little bit. I'm going a little bit slower so you guys can see the full portion of the step. So you start with the right foot up. It would be left, right, left, breaking right off of that left. Then it would be right, left, right, breaking right off of the right foot. Just 3 steps in and out of each cone, in and out of each break. Okay, so that's the first drill that we got. Now the second drill that we got is we're going to be working on just this hezi slide. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 cones, and all we're going to be doing is just sliding off the platform, trying to get to this cone to work on that first part of that slide release where I slide a DB right, and it's the same thing. Like maybe I have a DB who's inside shade, I slide him to the right, he goes with me, and then I run a slant. Or maybe I slide to the right, DB sits right there, and then I go run a fade to the outside. It's one of the two, but we're just emphasizing the slide portion of this. So you see how when I come off here, I slide, right? And I'm just pausing there. Then I'm up to the next cone. I take a slide back to that cone. It's all about gaining ground. It's all about gaining ground. Since you're doing 3 slides, you're going slide off with the right foot up, slide with the left foot up, slide with the right foot up. You're going to have to switch sides. So make sure we get this in on each side. Okay, so that's that slide drill that we were talking about. Now we're going to get into some full routes. So now we're going slide into a diamond release. And all these drills that we do, fellas, are going to build into the actual route. So I'm lined up here. I go slide release, and then I'm right into a 3-step diamond. I'm going 1, 2, 3. 3. This is like a DB's inside shade. We slide. He goes with me. I take the diamond. He bites on the fade, and then I slip back underneath on a slant. Let's watch it full speed. So we got the slide, diamond, right into the 3 steps, breaking back off underneath. Now what we got after that is we got to slide and go. This is like I slid, right? So this release right here is like I have a DB who's inside shade. I slid to the outside. He stayed to the inside shade, and then I bursted up and ran a fade just because he was sitting inside, and I knew that I had him on that because of the patience of the slide and gaining depth on the slide. Now, the last one we have here is we're going slide into a diamond, and we're throwing like a double up move into it, right? So I'm going to go here. I slide to the outside. I take off. I'm taking 3 hard steps like I'm running a diamond release. Excuse me. Oh, this is the wrong, my bad. This is the wrong one. So this one right here is the one I'm looking at. It's a slide. Then I take off 1, 2, 3. I break on the 3rd step like I'm doing that slide diamond. And then I throw 1 step back to the inside to sell slant. This DB's running with me. He maybe sits to the inside. And then I got him on this fade. I'll play that one again full speed so you guys can see it. But this is the last route we got. We got a slide, take off 1, 2, 3, 4, throw that cut back to the inside, then get upfield. Okay, so now to finish off the day, we got this tennis ball routine. So what you're going to do is you're going to need a tennis ball in the right hand, tennis ball in the left hand. All you're doing is you're going to bounce the ball off the right hand. So you're going to bounce it off the wall with your right hand that throw. Then you're going to switch hands with the other tennis ball into the right hand and catch the one off the wall with the left hand. That's way more, I made it sound way more complicated than it is. But all it is you're just here, you're throwing it off the wall with the right. You're going to switch hands here. And then when that ball comes back, you're going to catch with the left hand. So we got 75 of those on each hand. And then now we get to the next one here. So the next one we got is we're going to be working over the shoulder. So when you guys are over the shoulder, I want you guys looking dead ahead. You're going to bounce 1 tennis ball off the wall over your head. And then when it comes, after you bounce it, after you hear it hit the wall, that's when you're going to look for the ball. Right? So that's when you're going to look back and try to track this thing. You don't want to be looking back the whole time. You want to bounce it off the wall. Then we're looking back. Then we're worried about tracking the ball. And we see this thing all the way down to the catch. And that's what you guys are going to do for 25 reps on each hand. So eyes straight forward, bounce it over the wall like so, and then worry about catching that ball and tracking that ball after you hear it bounce off the wall. Okay, so that is day 2 of our plan. Now we're going to be getting into day 3. This is where things are going to start moving a little bit faster, fellas, because we got through the everyday drills, the warm up, all that stuff. So we'll start moving through this a little bit quicker, right? So now day 3, now we're going to be focused on the stick portion of this. So we have the dynamic warm-up, everyday drills, same thing as usual. First split, we have a peek back L stick 90-degree cut drill. That's working on your peek back technique. And then we have the second split, we have this square cut stool drill. I'll explain that as well. And then we're getting right into full routes for split 3. And then into split 4, we have our medicine ball routine that we showed already in the very beginning of this. Okay, so a lot of this is review, but we're going to go through some of the basic stuff of this and how you guys can get better. So all this is for that L stick drill is you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 cones. Same pattern as that zigzag drill for your diamond release is you're taking only 3 steps. So you're going to be here, you're taking 3 steps up, but you're going to be working that peek back. So you're going to be looking over your inside shoulder. So we're coming up here. It's just 1, 2, 3, breaking this off. Then again, as soon as I get to this cone, I'm snapping my eyes over this shoulder. 1, 2, 3. Then as soon as I get to that cone, I'm snapping my eyes over the right shoulder, break, and then I'm coming off right on this 90-degree cut for an out route. I'm going to show you how this thing is going to look full speed. Let's watch it again one more time. So I burst up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 again, and then I'm off of this route. Okay, so that's that first drill. That's that 90-degree L stick drill. Okay, so now next drill that we have is we have that square cut, like kind of stool drill, right? So what a square cut is it's like a 4-step break, right? Where you snap down into a route. So that's 2 steps. And then you throw a cut. So it would be left, right, left, right. That's the pattern that we're working on this. So we're coming off here. So you see how I get into this? It's left, right, left, right. And I throw that head and shoulder fake to the outside. This sells like an out route, right? So what you're doing on this drill is on your first inside step, you're making the break here. Then on your second inside step, you're making the second break. So I come off, first inside, throw, second inside, throw. That's all it is. First inside, I drop down, I throw that head fake. Second inside, I throw that head fake again. Let's watch it again, full speed one more time. Make sure, fellas, that we are taking only 4 steps on this break. So I come up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just working on selling that out route. You guys are going to see how that builds into the actual route when we go full actual routes right now, what we're going to show you. Okay, so now first route we got is we just got third inside step. We're going speed out route, so that's pretty simple, right? So speed out just like this. I'll play it again full speed. Remember, it's off of my third inside step, so let's count those steps. We got first inside, second inside, third inside. Breaking this thing right off, focus on getting right to that 90-degree cut. Okay, so now next route we have is going to be working a stem out route off the third inside. So this situation here is like I have, let me rewind this. This situation right here is like I have a DB who's inside shade and I have to run a 10-yard out. So I don't want to just run the 10-yard out because if he's inside shade, he'll get right into my hip and force me right to that sideline. So he's inside shade. I want to stem him. I still want to keep the same steps. I still want to keep the same depth, but I angle my stem to the inside. That's my first inside right there. That's my second inside. Bam. Breaking right off of the third inside step to get out of this thing. I'm going to show you how it's going to look full speed again. So attack the leverage of that DB. 2, 3, and then I have all that space to make sure we can accelerate off the route and win the race with the DB. Okay, so now next route we got here is going to be a dig route off of that square cut, right? So now we have an inside shade DB. So now I have to run a dig. Inside shade DB, I could run a dig. Normally what we would do on a dig versus inside shade is we'd attack the outside shoulder, get him to turn his hips and go. This is just another way of doing things because what did we just run? We just ran the 10-yard out. So if I have an inside shade DB like this and I attack his leverage, right? He's going to want to keep his leverage. That's why we like it on the out route because we attack his leverage like this. He weaves to the inside and then I have all this space for myself. But now when I'm running this dig route, what we're working here is we're working that square cut on the stool drill. So I come off, I hit him with a 1, 2, 3, 4. And that 3, 4, that cut right there sells like I'm doing just the same out route that I just did. I attack his leverage, I make that cut. So it's very important that we make it look the same as far as the stem goes on this specific route. So let's watch the thing again, full speed. Pretty good job attacking using that stem. Make sure we square up the DB, 1, 2, 3, 4, and get out of this route. That's the routes that we're going to be emphasizing today. We got that speed out. We got the attacking leverage speed out versus inside shade off man. Then we have inside shade off man where we run a dig route. There's great examples for you guys to use with live game scenarios. Okay, so now day 4, pretty simple. We got a rest day, right? So make sure you hydrate, rest, ice, massage, roll out, whatever you need to do on that rest day right here. But we're taking the day off from the field work. So we're not going on the field. We're just taking a day off, rest, stretch, hydrate, all that stuff. Make sure we take care of our body before we get into day 5 where we're working on press releases again and then catching. Okay, so now when it comes to day 5 here, so first split we got, same thing, dynamic warm-up, everyday drills, same idea, right? And these workouts should probably take you about an hour to an hour and a half, not that much, especially when you know the drills, especially when you know the warm-up and you know what drills you need to be doing every day. So we got split release towel drill. I'm going to show how that's going to look full speed. It's going to work on your restack and work on your split release. And then we have split 2, we're working a diamond and a dive release. And then when we go full routes, we're going to kind of build off of it. We're going split route fade, split diamond release for a slant, split inside release post, split dive release into a 5-yard out. And then after that, we have our tennis ball catching routine, same thing that we were talking about earlier. So let's get started with this. So this is that split towel drill, right? So you need 3 cones and you need to put a towel at the end of the cones. So what we're going to be working on is a split release. So a split release is exactly how it sounds. You're just splitting your feet. You're pretty much bringing your back foot even with your front foot, and your front foot is going out. So when you split like that and you get to this balanced position right here, what that does, that serves to freeze a DB. So this drill, what we're doing is we're trying to restack around these cones and pick up this towel with my right shoulder to emphasize that like restack shoulder reduced technique where you get back over the top on a route. So let's watch thing full speed, but this is the first drill that we're going to be doing. So we split, push off the outside foot, and then pick up that towel to work on my split release and my restack. Okay, so now we have a dive release and a diamond release. So everybody remembers what the diamond release was. It's like the receiver's here, DB's inside shade, we take 3 steps on a 45, he goes. So what a dive release is like is where the receiver is here, you have a head up DB, and you do the opposite. You dive to the inside for 2 hard steps, DB overcommits, and then I could slip back to the outside. So that's what we're working on. So you guys got 3 cones. You want to set up 1 cone lined up to the inside for the dive, then 1 cone lined up to the outside for the diamond. So what it is, it's 2 steps inside. So this little prep step right here that I take, that's totally fine. You guys can take that, no problem. So that little prep step that I take is fine, and I'm taking 1, 2, and I'm breaking off the second step, then I'm taking 3 steps back back to this cone right here to work on that diamond release. So we're working the dive release, and then we're working back to the diamond release. Okay, so let's watch the thing full speed one more time. So I go here, I dive inside, 3 steps outside, break this thing off, and then you could have a quarterback giving you a ball on a slant. Don't 100% need a quarterback on this, but if you do, have him throw you a ball on a slant route specifically. Okay, so now we get into the full route. So now the routes are going to build off of each other. So we got a split route or a split release into a fade. So I come here, split release right into a fade. Now we got to make it look the exact same, and we're going to be going split release into a diamond release, right? So I come off here, I split release, 1, 2, 3. I hit him on the diamond. I'm making this DB think I'm doing a split into a fade, and then I'm able to slip back underneath. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So split, 1, 2, 3, break this thing off on a slant off of this split release. Okay, so now we're going to build off the inside release. So now we got a split release into a post route. And then what we have is we have a split release into a dive release, and then back to the outside on a 5-yard out. So let's watch both of these clips full speed. So I split inside release off of the 4th outside, and then I go split release here on the next one. So I go split release, dive release, and then I'm back up into a 5-yard out. So all those releases that we just worked, the split fade into the split diamond, then the split post into the split dive, they all look similar, right? They're a split release with an inside and an outside release running 2 different routes. That's how you guys have to structure your regimen. That's how you guys have to structure your routes in an actual game, is you have to make them build off each other. You have to make them look similar, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to create separation with the DB, okay? So now, next day of the plan that we're getting into is we got day 6. So day 6 is pretty simple day, right? Day 6 is we're going to be going through the full route tree. So I'm not even going to be showing you guys any video examples of this, because it's all the routes that we ran from the previous week. So from day 2 all the way through day 5, all the routes that we ran after our drill work, you guys are going to repeat those. And if you guys could get a DB out for the workout, that would be definitely beneficial, but it's to work on all the skills that we did throughout the week. Okay, so we're going to be doing 2 correct reps of each route on each side. So combining the releases and combining the moves at the top of the route that we worked. Again, same thing. You're starting out with the dynamic warm-up and the everyday drills. Then we're getting into the full routes. And then at the very end of this thing, you guys can do that medicine ball routine. Okay, so now that was day 6. So day 7 now, rest day. So make sure you hydrate, ice, retch. That's the first week of the plan. Now we're getting into the second week of this plan and how you guys can really really get involved with the details of this specific position. So day 7's a rest day. Make sure you hydrate, ice, stretch, massage, roll out. Now we're getting into day 8, and things should start to pick up a little bit, fellas. Hope you guys are starting to kind of get the routine that we are working in. Okay, so now day 8, route running, we're going to be focused on snap down and square cuts. So we should all know what a square cut is. So we have dynamic warm-up, everyday drills. Split 1, we have a 3-cone snap down drill. Split 2, we have a square cut star drill and a square cut stool drill, but it's a double up instead of a single cut. And then for our third split, we have the one leg kneeling, burst off of that foot to work on your guys' explosion and acceleration out of a break. Okay, so that's going to be the main focus. Then split 4, we have a med ball lunge routine. Super simple. We've done that before. You guys should already know what that's about. So let's get started with these videos. So this 3-cone drill, all we are doing is we're just going to be running in pretty much a circle. So we're working on my hip drop, working on the violent hips. So you're bursting up to this cone, you're running in a circle around it, bursting up to this cone, running in a circle around it, bursting up to the last cone, running in a circle around it. It's literally like we were just going in that pattern. But the most important thing is dropping your hips at each cone and getting into that low explosive position at each cone. So let's watch the thing full speed. So I go up here, drop down hips, then I get up to the next one, hips, focus on staying tight to the break, drop the hips into this, and then I come back to that throw. Okay, so now this one is going to be for the square cuts. This is the second one that I talked about. It combines the first 2 drills. So we're bursting up here, and I believe it's off of your first inside step. Yeah, so first inside step starts the square cut. So first inside step, I do a square cut here. I break around this just like the 3-cone drill that we did, and then I break off of this, not off of a specific step, but we're doing a square cut at the last one where you guys are breaking off the right leg, coming over the middle, running a dig route. So it's like a star drill. So you're coming up to the first cone, square cut, run around this one, square cut again, coming over the middle right here. You could have a quarterback give the ball if he's in that, if you have a quarterback to work with, right? So let's watch the thing full speed. So I come up here, first inside starts the square cut, drop my hips tight around the cone, drop the hips, square cut again, and then I'm off on this route. So it's just a star drill. We are literally going in that pattern, square cut, breakdown, square cut, we're out of this thing, okay? And then you guys, obviously, when you're switching sides, all you do is you move move this cone over here. You work up, square cut around that, square cut again, then you come around on a dig going the same way. We're just running around the cone in a different direction, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to that email that we provided for you guys, okay? So now it's like that same square cut drill that we did, that like kind of stool drill that I talked about where you guys are going here, but instead we are going to be throwing a double cut. So you're going to be snapping with the outside foot now. So it's going to be your second outside step. So in this case, it's my second right leg. So it's just another tool that you have in your arsenal when you guys are working, you know, one-on-one routes, you have choice routes, options, whatever it is. There's just another tool in your arsenal to work with and to do, right? So I come off here, it's my second outside step. That second outside step is what drops you into the break. And then instead of just cutting off of the right one, you throw like a left, right. So it's like right, left, right, left, right. That's the footwork right there. Right, left, you snap down, right, left, right. That's the straight up footwork for this one. Then on the next one, you go one, right, left. So right, left, right. And we throw that cut off of this foot, and then I'm out. So it's just one more step. This is like a 5-step break rather than a 4-step break that we were doing, okay? So I'm going to show this thing full speed. Hope this kind of makes sense. This is a little bit more of an advanced drill, I would say, for you guys, but this is something you want to use when you got to run a dig route, maybe your last read on the play, maybe you're running a choice route, whatever it is, but it's just another thing to keep that DB on his toes and to keep him guessing. So I burst up here, right, left, right, left, right. Right, left, right. And then we're bursting out. I know it's a lot of steps. I know it feels like it takes a little bit of time. We just got to know the right situation to be able to use that specific square cut. And then we're here. This is just working on you guys like that last step of the square cut. So like, let's say you're taking a normal square cut. You're going 1, 2. So these are the 2 snap down steps. Then you're going 3, 4. It's working on the drive off of that 4th step to be able to get you out of the break. So you're going to start with your right knee up. And when you switch sides, it's going to be your left knee up. All we're doing is we are pushing off of that foot like we are pushing off of a cut that we make at the top of the route. So I come off here, I push off of that cut, and we're just going to burst through at about 20 yards, maybe 15 to 20 yards, something, a good little finisher for the workout, but have that leg up to work on driving off that inside arch of the foot and opening up your hips to help you guys change direction faster at the top of that break. Okay, so that's the end of day 8, I believe. So now we're on to day 9, right? So that's the end of day 8, day 9, focusing on press releases and hands. So press releases and hands. So first thing we got, same as usual, dynamic warm-up routine and everyday ladder routine. And how I recommend, guys, is also just break this up. You know what I mean? Don't take in all this information at once if that's what you guys are doing. I would take it day by day. Like you're on day 1 of the plan. Okay, I'm going to look at the schedule. I'm going to go through day 1 of the plan. Okay, I'm going to go look at this. I'm going to go look at the video, watch everything for day 1. Then I'm going to hit the field. And then I'm not going to worry about it until I come back to day 2 because it can be a lot of information. But if you guys break it up piece by piece, it'll be a lot easier for you guys to follow. Okay, so same thing, day 9, dynamic warm-up routine, everyday drills. First split, we have double up cadence drill, right? Then for the second split, we have hesitation hop, like skip into it, 1, 2, that'll make more sense. And then we have full routes. So doing a double up post with an inside release, outside release, 4th outside step, or double up post, inside release, and outside release. Both breaks are going to be off the 4th outside step. A hezi 1, 2 versus a head up and inside shade DB where we're running a 10-yard out off of my 3rd inside step. So let's get into this thing. So the first drill we got is we got that double up cadence. And then obviously for split 4, we have the tennis ball drills. Pretty similar. I think you guys are getting the pattern. Every time we work our press releases, we're going to be working on our hands with that tennis ball drill as well. Okay, so now for the first workout, what we got, our first drill, I should say, it's just a cadence drill. So you're going to have here, you're going to need a partner to do this. If you don't have a partner, just do 3 reps. But all we're treating it is we have like a line going straight down on these cones. If you're on an actual field, use one of the yard lines. But when somebody says go, when somebody says clap, all we are doing is we're throwing a double move. So it'll be an out in. So you're going to be going right then left, and then you'll go on the other side of the ladder and go left then right, or the other side of the cones and go left then right. So I would be going full speed here. Somebody would say go, and that's when I would throw the 1, 2. I'd say go, then you throw the 1, 2, and we burst off of the 3rd one. So you're doing 3 reps total. You're going to be chattering your feet. Somebody says go, you hit them with a right, left, you get right back to the chatter. Somebody says go again, right, left, right back to the chatter. Then we say go a 3rd time, right, left, and I burst off of that thing. I'm going to show you how it's going to look full speed one more time. I'll show like the last 2. So chatter, right, left, right back to the chatter, right, left, I burst off of this thing and get back up field. Okay, so now, next drill we have is we have this like hesitation hop skip. So this like little hop with your front foot is just to attack leverage. So we set up 3 cones. So this is the starting point. These are the 2 points that we're going to be making cuts at. The footwork is going to be left, and then right into a right left. So it's going to be like a little hesitation skip where you're attacking the leverage of a DB. So this would be a situation where, like, let's say you're lined up at the cone, DB's inside shade, you have to run like a corner, but this DB's here, so you attack him with that move, and then you get back up into the route and run the corner. So this works on just that specific release. Hesitation hop into a 1-2. So you're hesitating to the cone, then you're throwing that same double up that we worked on from that cadence drill, okay? So let's watch the thing full speed one more time. So I come off here, you hesitate, attack the cone, 1-2. Then we're going to reset. So you're just going to pause right there, then you're going to reset. Then you're going to switch your feet. So now your right foot is up. The foot closest to the cone is the one that's going to be up. So now I go off here, I hesitate at him, left, right, and then I burst up. So it's a hesitation with the left foot, right, left. Then I reset at this cone, hesitate to that cone, right, left, and then, or excuse me, left, right, and then I burst back up. Okay, so that's the main thing that I want to focus on. You got to do that hesitation hop to attack the leverage of the DB to move him off of that platform. Okay, so now let's get into some full routes. So full route we got here is we're going to be doing this like double up release into a post, right? So I go 1-2, 1-2, 3, fourth outside, I break it off on a post. So now we're going to be doing the opposite of a double up release. Now instead of going inside, we're going outside. So now it's going to be an outside release post because you could run a post from either an outside release or an inside release. So on this one, I go 1-2, 2, 3, 4, breaking off the fourth outside again. You want to get in the habit of, if you're taking an inside release on a double up move, you step to the side that you are going first. So if I'm taking an inside release, I step with the inside foot first, then I throw back to the outside. I'm taking an outside release, I go outside foot, then inside foot first. So now let's get to this next one here. So this is going to be a 10-yard out off of the third inside versus an inside shade DB. So I have a DB who's lined up inside shade. I got to attack his leverage to keep the leverage, just like we were talking about with that out route versus off man coverage earlier in the play. So I square him up, I attack his leverage, he keeps his leverage, and then I got all this space to work on that 10-yard out. So I hesitation hop, 1-2, 1-2, third inside, I break this thing right off, and then I accelerate onto this out route. Now it's going to be the same idea, but it's going to be like against a head up DB. So same idea, you could use that hesitation hop when the DB's head up in front of you or when he's inside shade. So I come off right here, you see I come off, I give this little hesitation skip, 1-2, I burst up 1-2, and well, that one was a fade, not necessarily a 10-yard out, excuse me on that one, but it's the same idea. You guys could work that fade, you guys could work that 10-yard out versus both of those looks where you have the inside shade DB or the head up DB to be able to create some separation, okay? So now we are going to be able to get into day 10 of this plan. All right, so for day 10, what you guys are going to be doing is we got the same thing, same as usual. We got the everyday drills, we got the ladder routine, and then we have the dynamic warm-up routine, okay? So same thing that you guys have been doing, same thing that we've been doing every single day of this plan. Then we're going to get into the first split, okay? So first split of this is we have a random rocker step cadence drill, 5 sets going each way. So this rocker step cadence drill is just going to be something that's like completely random to work on your guys' rocker step at the top of the break. A rocker step is where you're going up, like let's say you're running a post route, for example, and you would step in then back out before you make that post cut off of your outside step. So it'd be like an in then out move. It's just like a double up if you guys aren't familiar with that, but you guys should be pretty familiar with that if you've done the first like the first month plan that we've had. Okay, then split 2, we have full sprint into a rocker step where we're jumping off of the second step of the rocker step and trying to land on one foot to work on balance, to work on stability, and just to work on you guys having that knee, ankle and knee stability at the top of your cuts. Okay, then we'll get into split 3. We have full routes. So we're going rocker step corner where we're just going right off the third outside, rocker step into a comeback off of the third outside, going to make it look the same, and then rocker step dig route. So those are all things you guys can use that on. That rocker step can be used on anything that involves a speed cut. So like an out route, like anything that's deeper than obviously like 5 to 7 yards, you do it on an out route, a corner route, a post route, anything of that nature, and a dig route, right? And then for our last split here, we have the same thing. We got that med ball lunge routine that we're going to get into. Okay, so let's play these clips full speed and we'll break them down. Okay, so now this rocker step cadence drill is you're going to start out at a cone. All you're going to be doing is you're going to be jogging. Now, if you don't have somebody to give you a go call, then you could just do this on your own and you want to work about 5 sets working each movement, the right, left, or the left, right. But what we're doing here is as soon as I get, this is how I would approach this if I had a partner out here with me, is I would be jogging up or like going about 3/4 speed. And when my partner would say go, I would throw a rocker step. So this helps you guys get used to throwing a rocker step when it's man coverage and maybe you don't have the right correct steps to be able to run on the route and you're having to worry about getting off the press and getting up to the depth of the route, but you still want to hit him with this rocker step, okay? So I'm coming off here like 3/4 speed. Somebody gives me a go call, hit him with a 1-2, go call, hit him with the 1-2 again, and then I'm out. You guys could do it either way. So I'll play this thing back again one more time. You guys could do it either way. You guys could either just do 5 reps of where we just go right, left, or you guys can alternate and maybe go about 8 to 10 different reps where you go right, left, and on the second go call, you go left, right, and you could do as many go calls as you would like in a specific space. So this is probably like a 20-yard space, so I was able to get maybe 3 rocker steps in. If you guys want to go a little bit deeper than that, you could do more, but make sure we get 5 sets of each movement going right, left, and then obviously left, right per set, okay? Watch it again, so it's going to be a cadence drill, completely random. When you hear that go call, that's when we're throwing that rocker step. So that's the first drill. Now, the full sprint into a rocker step, it's really not like you're sprinting from 10 yards away. It's more like 5 yards, and it's off of your first inside step. That's what starts the move. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to burst up. We're going left, right, and we're pushing off of this right leg and jumping to this cone right here where you catch yourself on the single foot. So it's going to be like to work on that stability and that ankle stability, okay? You want to do this about 5 sets each way, whichever the sets and reps say on the plan dictated. I would assume, I think it says 5. I got to go back and check that. But just do whatever reps and sets that it says to do, but working it each way. So 1 set, so the first like portion of sets, you would step with your left foot first on the rocker step, so it'd be left then right. Then you burst off of the right foot to work on that push and that stability, and then you would go the other way. You go right then left, and you burst off of the left. So it's watch this full speed. So I take my first inside step is what starts the move. Now you see how when I did that there, I did that little like double hop, right? So I went here, I tried to catch myself, 1, 2. That's totally fine. Let's just try to balance on that single one leg off of this thing. So it's a 1, 2, then we're pushing off of it. I'm going to show it full speed again one more time. First inside step is what starts this move. So it's here, bam, bam, jump to that foot and catch myself right there. So now we got on this drill, we're going to be doing, this is into the full routes. So for the full routes, we're going straight up rocker step first, right? So I come off here, it's my third outside step, so I hit him with a rocker step, so it's just that straight up 1, 2. And then for the next route here, I'm going to be running this rocker step comeback, right? So this is the one that I want to talk a lot about. Is so when I get up into this route, you see how I hit that rocker step on the third outside. So this is like if I got a zone coverage DB who's here, I hit him with that move to the inside to get him to sit, and then I push back up to this blind spot right here where that DB's crashing on there to force the speed turn, and by that time I'm already out on the comeback. So it's my third outside step, right? That's my third outside. Throw to the inside. It's that first inside step off of the rocker step, or your fourth inside total, snapping this thing off and then getting right back down on that 45. So that's that rocker step comeback that we were talking about right there. So now, for the next route we have this just straight up rocker step dig. So now it's going to be off of that third inside step. So I'm bursting off here. It's going to be bam. I'm going inside foot first because it's an inside breaking route like a dig. So I'm coming off. I'm going inside foot first. Outside foot puts the brakes on, and then I'm able to push off of this cut to get right back on that 90-degree angle and come off and run this dig route. Okay, so those are the routes you're going to be doing. We have that corner route, third outside rocker step into a comeback off the fourth inside step, and then we have third inside step working a rocker step on a dig route. Those are going to be the routes for day 10, especially on this. Okay, so now day 11, pretty simple, just a rest day. Guys can relax, make sure we rest, hydrate, stretch, take care of your body so we're ready and fueled up, ready to go for the rest of this week's workout on the weekends. Okay, so day 11 is going to be a rest day. So now for day 12, what we got, same thing, dynamic warm-up, everyday ladder routine, right? Pretty simple. Now, this is going to be, we're going to be emphasizing a slide release today, a wide step, and then obviously working on both of those things into the full route, right? So we have a slide back and forth, 45-degree angle, double up. So this is like that slide that we did in the very beginning of the plan, where instead of just sliding to an area and then stopping, we would slide, hit a 1, 2, and then we'd come off of it like on a slant route. So that'll make more sense when I show you guys the full thing. And then what we have in split 2 is we have a wide step over the line with a med ball. So this med ball is going to be moving hip to hip to work on us really selling the actual route. I'm going to show you how it's going to look full speed, obviously. And then we have the third split. We're going full split. So we're going wide step, 1 step slant. So just a wide step right into a slant, a slide release into a slant, and then a wide step post, emphasizing that restack. And then we obviously have our tennis ball catching routine. You guys are starting to catch on to this when it's press releases, and we're always going to be working hands when we're in those situations. Okay, so let's get into this next reel here. So this is that slide release 45, like I said. So it's going to be 3 cones. That's all you would need. So you're going to slide to here, and then we're going to treat each one like a slant route. So remember, when it's a double up, and you have an inside breaking route, or you want to take the inside release, what foot are you going to step with first? You're going to step with your inside foot first. So that's exactly what this drill's for. You're going to slide to the outside, in then out, and then you're going to just kind of pause at this first cone. Then you're going to reset yourself, slide to the white, in then out, and then I'm actually going to burst on this slant. So let's watch it full speed. So I slide to the outside, 1, 2, then I reset right here. I got the exact same thing coming back. I slide to the outside, 1, 2, and I burst off right on this slant. So how you would do that if you're going to flip sides, you would just come down to this end. You'd slide left, right, first, and then you put the left foot up, slide left, right, bam, and then we're out of this thing, okay? So if you had to flip sides, that's how you would flip sides. You make sure you have 3 cones set up in that like triangle pattern. So the next drill we got here is this wide step, right? This wide step with the med ball. So what you're going to need is you're going to need 4 cones, and you're going to treat it like you have to step in between these 2 cones, but over this like line of cones, if you will, right? So you see how I have this med ball on my left hip. If you don't have a med ball to work with, what you guys can use is you can use like a football. You could use a football, you could use like a basketball, whatever, but it's mainly just, the med ball is great because it serves as resistance and you'll feel faster as you do it, but it's really just get your upper body to turn. So we are moving the med ball. We're starting out with it on my left hip. Your left foot's going to be up, and then if you were to switch sides, obviously it'd be vice versa. But what we're doing is we're going to make sure that when we throw that wide step, you're going to switch the med ball to the opposite hip, because when you go hip to hip with the med ball, that brings your whole entire upper half. And when you can bring your upper half like this, but still maintain an explosive position, that's what can get a DB to jump, especially on this wide step, right? So that's what we're doing. So we're taking a wide step on the first one, wide step on the second, then wide step on the third, but you are throwing the med ball and bursting off on a 1-step slant. So let's watch it full speed. So wide step, make sure we're stepping over the line. You can reset right there. Wide step, hip to hip with the med ball. Then on the last one, you're going to let go of the med ball as you throw. See how much my upper body is turned, how far I'm actually stepping with that foot. That's the spot that we want to get in. And then I could burst out. I could either a quarterback throw me a slant, or I could just make sure that I'm bursting out and actually running full speed. Let's watch the thing full speed again one more time. Great job there, stepping over the line and really emphasizing that hip throw when you're using that med ball. That's what we have to do on this. We have to use the med ball to propel my upper body. I have to actually step over the line to be able to create separation and get outside that DB's frame. Okay, so now this is just basic routes that we're going to be doing. So we have that 1-step slant off of the wide step, right? So just single wide step here, just running that 1-step slant. So that's the first route that we got. Now the next route we got is going to be a slide release slant. Okay, so it's going to be here. We're doing that same slide release. I'm real patient. And then if we want to go inside, what foot do I step with first? I step with the inside, then the outside, and then I'm off right on this slant. Okay, so it's a slide release slant. I'm going to play it again. You slide to the outside, 1, 2, burst out and run that slant. And then the last one we have is a wide step, 4th outside, running a post route. Okay, so it's very similar to that double up that we worked a little while ago, a couple days ago, but we're stepping wide, getting this DB to jump to the outside like so, making sure that this release is just like the drill that we did with our everyday drills. And then I'm bursting up. That's my first outside. That's my second outside, third outside, 4th outside. And the 4th outside is what we change direction on. We don't start to round it off early. The 4th outside is what I pop off to be able to get out on that post route. Let's watch that full speed again one more time. So post route is the last route we are going to be working. So we got the 1-step slant, then we have the route, the slide, we got the slide slant, and then we got the wide step, 4th outside step. I'm running that post route. Okay, so now day 13 of the plan, what we got on day 13 is we're going to be working the full route tree. Okay, so full route tree, right? So it's the same thing. We got dynamic warm-up, everyday drills. And then what I mean by full route tree is the same thing we were doing in week 1. It's just all the routes that you guys have worked from that previous week. So the wide step post that we were just talking about, the wide step, 1-step slant, those are all the routes you need to include. We got to make sure we do 4 sets of each one on each side. Okay, so that's an increase from the first week that we did this, right? So now what you're also going to be adding to it is a square cut dig route, 3rd inside, off man. This is what we worked in week 1. I don't know if you guys remember that on the first day where we kind of attacked the leverage on the DB, then we hit him with that square cut break. That's what I want. So that's what you guys are going to be doing. If you guys got to refer back to day 1, or I believe it was day 1, if you guys got to refer back to day 1 on this, then that's totally fine. But that's what we're going to be adding to the routine, getting 4 sets of that on each side. Okay, so now day 14, pretty simple day, just end of the week. We just got to make sure we rest, right? Make sure we hydrate, stretch, ice, massage, whichever it is, but just make sure that we're resting and we're letting my body recover for the 3rd week specifically of this plan. Okay, so now, day 15. Let's get into day 15. So day 15, we got same thing, dynamic warm-up, everyday drills, nothing changes. Split 1, we got another cadence drill, right? So this cadence drill is going to be working on like a like a vertical set is the proper term for it. Some people call it a pressure step. I call it a vertical set. It's like when you're running a fade against zone coverage, you give that little fake to the inside. That's what they call a vertical set, right? So that's what we're going to be focusing on with this. That's going to be split one. Split two, we have another reaction drill off of a foot fire. So I'll explain that as well. And then for split three, we got some full routes where we're going to be attacking a DB's leverage who's inside shade, and we're going to be running a 10-yard out. Then we're going to be running a dig with the 10-yard dig with an outside release as well. And then we're also going to be working on a vertical set post route. Okay, so let's watch this all full speed, and then we'll walk you through each day of the plan. And then obviously for split four, we have that med ball lunge routine, same as usual. You guys know exactly what that is. Okay, so now this is like that random vertical set drill, right? So what it is just like that random rocker step drill, except you're not taking two steps, right? The difference between a vertical set and a rocker step is you're taking like a full two. A vertical set is you're just taking one step. So that single one step that we take right there, that's what we're trying to emphasize on this specific drill. So the same thing, it's a cadence drill. So you're going to have somebody give you a go call. Whenever you hear somebody give you a go call, you're going to throw that vertical set. Then you pop right back up. Somebody says go again. You throw the vertical set. Somebody says go again. You throw that move to the inside. It's almost like a post break on a route, like you're trying to go back this way, but you're really just trying to assess back vertical. Okay, so that's what a vertical set is, right? So let's watch this again, full speed. So he's coming on. I'm coming off here. As soon as you hear a go call, we throw the vertical set. Go, go, go. That's all what we're doing on the vertical set cadence. Whenever you hear somebody say go, that's what we're doing. So now, next drill on this day of the plan is going to be our foot fire cadence drill, right? So what that is you're going to be doing a foot fire, like kind of working a foot fire release, whereas where you're taking choppy steps with your feet and you're kind of chopping your hands together, you're closing the distance with the DB or what have you. But what we are doing is we're going to be reacting off of a point. So you would need somebody in front of you. If he points to the left, you're going to cut with the left foot. He points to your right, you're going to cut with the right foot. Right? So we come off here. So foot fire, this is like somebody pointed left, pointed right, pointed right, pointed left, right? And if you have a partner doing this with you, you have to be able to mix it up. You don't want to do right, left, right, left, right, left. You got to mix it up. You maybe go right 3 times, then left 1 time. You got to make sure that we mix it up and we make it realistic for that specific drill. So we have that foot fire drill, and then we have the vertical set reaction drill that we both can use. Okay, so now let's get into some actual routes here. So this is going to be a 10-yard out route versus a situation where we have a DB who's inside shade, right? So we talked about this a little bit in the beginning of this whole thing. And we talked about how we want to attack a DB's leverage when he's inside shade, because when I attack his leverage, what's he going to do? He's going to keep his leverage and he's going to weave to the inside, which opens up a lot of space for me to be able to run this route. So you look, when I come off of this thing, I attack its leverage, 1, 2, I'm bursting up, bam, off that. So this one is a dig, not an out route. Apology for that. So on this dig route that we run right here, I hit him with that 1, 2, and it's like I'm taking that outside release, right? So this route is super important because like when you guys are doing this type of a thing and you guys have to take an outside release on a dig route, we got to make sure that we sell vertical. We got to make sure that off of that foot fire, I get that DB to sit inside, but I'm going as hard as I can to the outside to really make him to turn those hips and commit to that fade. That's the number one goal. That's what we were trying to accomplish with this. And so on this dig route, that's exactly what I did. I burst up here, third outside step, and then we're able to get off this thing clean because of that foot fire release, right? So now on this route specifically, same thing, hit him with a foot fire, hit him with a 1, 2, and then I'm breaking. Now this is the out route. This is the one I got confused. But the release looks the exact same. I got an inside shade DB, attack his leverage, I throw him to the inside, give him that move, and then I burst upfield off of that third inside step. That's the step that gets me out of this break. So I'm coming off here. Let's watch the thing again, just to make sure that you guys are comfortable going off of steps. We come off here. Give him that move, bam. That's my first, second, third inside right there. That's how we should be counting those steps. That's how quick those steps happen. We got to make sure that we are prepared for it because when you get to that next level, they will ask you to do that, okay? So now we're going to be doing this vertical set route right here. So this vertical set that we're going to be looking at is a situation where we got a DB who's maybe like 7 yards off. We're hitting him with my second inside step, throwing that move to the inside, then bursting back outside for 3 more steps to run this post. So this is like I have a DB who's head up, facing that quarterback. We're going to threaten him inside to get him to jump, and then I'm taking 3 steps towards the outside. Let's watch the thing full speed. So I come off first inside, second inside, 3 outside steps, and then I'm breaking this thing right off. Or not 3 outside steps, but just 3 steps to the outside, okay? All right, so now, day 16, we obviously got press releases in hands. So we got dynamic warm-up routines, same as usual, everyday ladder routine, run then drop drills, all that stuff that we do on a daily basis. Then for the first split, what we have is we have that split release towel drill. So that split release towel drill is something we have done before. That's not something that's going to be new. But for our second split split, we have a split release head fake with the towel. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, how you guys can apply a head and shoulder fake into that split release that we are going to be doing, right? And then for full routes, we have a split release, inside release post, third outside step, split release, inside release rocker step, split head fake inside, and outside release fade, okay? So, and then lastly, we obviously have that tennis ball routine because it is a press release day, so that tennis ball routine is something that we will be doing, okay? So now, let's play this thing and then we'll get rolling. So this split release with the head fake, it's the same kind of towel drill, but all it is because you're taking an inside release, you want to give that head and shoulder fake to the outside. Normally on a split release, you don't give that head and shoulder shake, you just kind of split and then you get up into the route. On this one, we're giving that head and shoulder fake to the outside to take the inside release and obviously trying to grab this towel. So watch it full speed. So I do this split, little head fake to the outside, dip that shoulder, then pick up that towel. So that's the first drill we got. Now, second drill we got is we're going to be looking at this split route into that was the second drill that we got because the first drill is just the regular split with the towel. Don't got to worry about the head fake. This one is going to be a post route off of this split release. So I split right here. And it's going to be off of my fourth outside. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be off my third outside, right? So your third outside, this is like a bang 8 post. Like you got a situation where it's man coverage. We like you on a post route. You hit them with a split release, head fake to the outside. 1, 2, 3. Third outside step. That is my third outside step. That's what pops me off, and that's what gets me into this route without any indicators. That's a great job. That's a great route that you guys should be able to run right there is that split release off the third outside. So now we're going to make it look the exact same. So now I'm going to be doing a corner route off of a split release with an inside release hitting a rocker step. So I split 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And it looks just like that post route because I'm breaking on the right step. I'm breaking on that third outside. I'm throwing back to the inside, selling like it's a post, just like the route we ran before, and then popping this thing right back off to the corner, okay? That's what we have to do to be successful as a wide receiver. You have to make all the stuff that you do off the line, top of the route, it all has to look similar, right? So I hit him with a split release, split, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all you guys have to do on this specific section of the plan. Now, we're getting into a split release into a straight up fade, right? So I come off here, split release, inside fake, head fake, then bursting off that leg, keeping my head down, and then working on this fade. That's another route that you guys are going to be working today, right? And that's another thing that you're going to be working when we combine all the routes. So now, day 17. We got route running again, sluggo routes, okay? So these sluggo routes, these drills are going to be very, very particular to you guys really selling the route with your eyes, selling the route with your speed, selling the route with your body language. That's going to be the main focus of these, okay? So now, when we're here, we have the same thing. Dynamic warm-up, everyday drills, right? That does not change. Now, for the first split, we have a 4-cone sluggo route drill giving eyes. Then for the second split, we have a 45-degree cut drill with eyes snapping around. So that's like that cone zigzag that we did for the diamond release a little while back. And then for split 3, we have double hop broad jumps, which works on you guys pushing off of your cut leg and being able to build ankle stability, knee stability, explosiveness, and all the above. And then we have routes where we're going a sluggo route, zone versus off coverage, then diamond release sluggo route against press. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing for split 4. And then for split 5, obviously, we have that same med ball routine that we did in the very beginning. 2 sets of 8 on each side. Okay, let's watch this thing full speed with these drills and then we'll get to it. So this is the one I was talking about with the sluggo, right? So you're going to be going, the main thing about a sluggo is we're going up 3, over the middle 3, then back up, right? We're trying to sell slant, trying to get a DB who's here to drive on this thing and make a break on the ball, right? So that's what we're trying to do with the sluggo. So for this sluggo specifically, that's how we have to be thinking. That's what we got to be thinking about for each one of these cones. So we're going 3 steps up to this cone, 3 steps to that cone, but when I go 3 steps, I got to snap my eyes to the inside, then I'm going 3 back up to this cone, then 3 back over the middle, breaking back up vertical. So it's just pretty much just a sluggo pattern. You're just doing it back and forth, but we got to make sure that we are emphasizing being on steps and emphasizing being on time with my movement. So I come off here, I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Everything is a 3-step cut. We're going 3 up, 3 middle, 3 up again, 3 up over the middle again, and then back up vertical. This is just to get you guys in the habit of selling the route with your pad level, speed, like I was mentioning before. So I'm up 3, middle 3, back up 3, back middle 3 again. So now we got this cone zigzag drill that we did in the very, very beginning when we were working on our diamond release, right? So it's where you're just going 3 steps, 3 steps, 3 steps, 3 steps, but there's a little variation in this one, right? So on this one, you have to give your eyes, quote unquote, to the quarterback every single time before you make that cut. So when I'm going over here, my footwork's going to be left, right, then left. All three of those steps, my eyes are to the quote unquote quarterback, selling like I'm working a double move, right? So when I come through here, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Notice how my eyes snap around on each one. Doesn't matter where the cone is, doesn't matter what the break is. Your eyes have to snap around, because when your eyes snap around, your hips and your shoulders will snap around, and you'll be in a better position to sell that route. So that's the second drill for that specific skill right there. So now this one is just to work on you being able to push off of this cut on a double move. What so many guys struggle with is they'll get up into a double move route, they'll make a break, but their ankles are weak, they don't have stability, they don't have strength, so they're not able to drive out, and they end up having a real long drift on the route. So what I do right here is this drill is like it's a double hop, and you're pushing the second that second hop hits the grass. So let's watch it full speed. So I go 1, 2, push. The second that foot hits, I explode right up into a broad jump. So that helps you guys open up your hips. That helps you guys being able to drive off of that cut leg to be able to have some speed in and out of this break specifically. Okay, so that's great. That's going to be a great drill for you guys to work on that push off of any kind of double move like a corner post and out and up when you're not gaining enough ground and not selling the route. Okay, so first route we got here. This is going to be like a sluggo route against zone coverage, right? So I come off here. It's 3 steps up and then 3 full steps over the middle. I got my eyes, got my hips and my shoulders. I got my stride. Everything's going. Then I'm breaking back upfield. So it's 3 up, 3 forward. That's the sluggo against zone. And then against press, we're going to be doing the same thing. We're also going to be doing a sluggo. However, it's going to be off of a diamond release. So rather than taking 3 steps straight up, you're going to take 3 steps at an angle like you have a DB who's inside shade. Hopefully he turns the hips with you. You could slip back underneath. He flips around, and then I'm breaking back up on this sluggo. So you got to make sure we do the same thing, but we take off on a 45-degree angle like I have a DB who's inside shade. So I come off 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pop this thing right back up. Make sure on any double move, fellas, you keep your head down. You're focused on widening the distance with that DB until that ball is thrown. Okay, so now, day 18, pretty simple day. We got a rest day. So make sure you ice, make sure you hydrate, make sure you rest your body. So we are ready to go for day 19 of the next week. All right, so day 19, what we got, same idea, dynamic warm-up, everyday drills. Same thing stays the same every single day, right? So now, split one, what we have is we have a single jab, like line release drill. Pretty simple. It's kind of like that wide step drill, what we did with the med ball, but it's with the front foot now and no med ball. And then we have a hezzy single jab release, pretty simple. And then we have a full 45-degree breaks. We've done this before. We did this in like the very first day of the plan where we have that energy lane and that 45-degree angle like a curl or a comeback. That's what we're doing for split 2 and then for split 3. So I don't think I need to show a video for that one because you guys should be pretty good on that. And then for split 3, we have full routes. We have that single jab, peek back, come back. So building off of that peek back technique we worked earlier in the week. And then we have a hezzy single jab stop route, okay? And then obviously because we're emphasizing press releases, what do you think we got? We got that catching routine at the very end of my workout. Let's watch the thing full speed. So I got 4 cones lined up right here. All we're doing now, instead of stepping with the back foot wide, we're going to be stepping with the front foot. It's going to be just like a little jab to the inside, okay? So I come off here, jab. That works on that quick little speed release. Jab to the inside again. Come off on the last one, we're going to jab with the front foot and then push straight up vertical. So I come up here again, jab to the inside, then I push up vertical to simulate a fade, okay? So now, we want to do the same drill. This is the second drill of this day, is that we give that little hesitation skip or a hesitation hop, like hezzy move, before we throw to the inside, right? So I come off here and I do this little hezzy skip 1. Same thing on this one. You pick up that front foot and just put it down. Give that DB something to think about. Get him to hesitate. Then I throw back to the inside, and same idea. We burst off like to the outside like we are going to be running a fade. So now this route is going to be a single jab comeback route, right? So pretty simple. We're working on the same release that we just did in the very beginning. But instead of doing this all fancy like attack leverage, stuff like that, this is like when you have a dude who's pressed up, you need to give him something quick and you need to get up into the route. So we decided to go with this speed release, right? So single jab to the inside. That's what we're calling it. And then it's off of my 4th inside. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and then right on the 4th, that's when my hips are slowing down. That's when I'm dropping my pad level to be able to make a tight turn out of this thing and get out of this route the best I possibly can. Anytime that you guys get that heavy pressed receiver, that single jab is a great move to use. Okay, so now, second clip we got is we have a stop route here from this hezzy, like kind of hezzy skip into a single jab, right? So we got here. So we're giving this single jab right now to the inside, and then I'm breaking off of my third inside step to be able to snap this thing off. So single jab to the inside right here, then third inside step is what's going to break me off on this specific stop route. Okay, so a hezzy skip, jab inside, one first inside, second inside, bam, third inside. Third inside, I'm snapping my hips off right now, dropping my pad level, getting into this low explosive position, right? So that's the second route that we're going to be working. So we had that speed release comeback. Now we have that little hezzy skip, jab to the inside. Then we're hitting that third inside step, working this stop route. Okay, so I come off here, hezzy skip, third inside, dropping this thing right off and just sitting right down on that stop route. Okay, so now day 20, same thing that we do at the end of the week every week. We got dynamic warm-up routine, everyday drills that we're going to be doing, same as usual. And then we have a full route tree work, all of the routes that we worked on throughout the week. So we're going to be doing 2 good reps of each route on each side, back to what we did similar in the first week of this plan. Okay, so every single route that we worked in that last period, like for example, on day 19, the single jab into the comeback, then the hezzy jab into the stop route, those 2 will also be included along with all the other routes that we worked throughout this entire week from day 15 all the way till day 20. Okay, so now after that, we're going to get into day 21. Day 21, pretty simple. We got a rest day, resting up for the weekend. 7th day of the week, we'll always take that off for the first 3 weeks. Now, this is getting us primed for this last week of the workout. And this last week is probably pretty much the most challenging week, I would say. But it's going to test you guys a lot. We got a lot of different route concepts that we're going to be working this week. So make sure day 21, we try to rest the best we can, let your body recover, ice, stretch, what have you, so we could get into this last week and finish strong with this plan. Okay, so now, day 22. So first things first, day 22, we got this dynamic warm-up routine, everyday drills, same thing. Then we're going to be working a drill for your hitch route, okay? So this hitch route is going to be, this specific drill is just going to be working on your hip drop. And for the hitch route, I guess you could say, but it's going to be a 4-cone drill where you're actually going to be bursting off of it and hopefully getting a ball if we have a quarterback, okay? So that'll make more sense when we play this thing full speed. Then we're going to be doing the full 45 cuts. So that's where I come up, I make this break, and I have an energy lane right here, and you guys are running out the energy lane. 4 sets of that each side. Don't think we need to go over that because we've done that. Then we have a curl and go drill. So a curl and go is where you break and you snap your hips into a break, and you take 3 steps down the line and throw like a single cut and burst back up vertically. Some people like to run it as a comeback and go. Some people like to run it as a curl and go, stop and go, hitch and go. Some people have different names for it. But for me, I call it a curl and go. You're going to be breaking, like this one's going to be off of, like, let's say like you're running the full curl off your 4th outside. Your 4th outside is going to snap you. You're going to pivot, you're going to hook, and then you're going to throw 1 step to the inside to sell like you're going down this 45 break and then go up. So that's a curl and go, and we're going to be working a drill for that specifically, okay? Then for split 4, we got full routes. So we're going to be going just straight up hitch route, 2nd inside. Then we're going to be going stop route, 4th inside. Both of those are going to be like they're against zone coverage. Then we have a comeback route on the 4th inside. Then we have a comeback and go route on the 4th inside like we were just talking about, right? And then obviously for split 5, we have that med ball lunge routine, same thing that we do on every single route running day that we have. So let's get into this video now. So this is that hitch drill. So what you're going to be doing is you're bursting up to the first 2 cones as hard as you can, and you're giving a 1-2 little stutter. So with your inside foot, then your outside foot. So I'm bursting up right here, then I'm going to be going right, left, then I'm going to burst up to the next one, right, left, and it's a quick stop, and then you're bursting up to the last one, and you're going to hit that drop pop break where you get out of it in 2 steps to simulate a hitch route. So I burst up here, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and I'm sitting out of this thing, dropping my hips violently. This just works on you guys pushing vertical and being able to drop your hips as suddenly as you can. So now we get into the next clip here. So this is going to be you guys working on that curl and go, right? So all we need is 3 cones. So what we're doing is we're going to be snapping with my 3rd step. So it's 1, 2, 3. On the 3rd step, you're snapping your hips. 2nd step, you're pivoting. 3rd step, you're hooking. 4th step, you're throwing that cut. So I want that at every single cone, right? So if we're doing this with 3 cones, I want the exact same thing right here. So now I reset it this one, as you can see, and then I go 3 steps. I go here, 1, 2, 3, I snap, pivot, hook, throw, and I'm bursting off of this cut to get back upfield. So that's that curl and go drill that I'm talking about. I'll play it full speed one more time for you guys. You come off here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, reset at this cone. I'm doing the exact same thing, bursting up to this one. On the third step, drop my hips, then throw that cut back to the inside, okay? So now, let's get into some full routes here. So this is going to be just a straight up hitch route. Second inside step, I'm able to pop this thing right off. Super simple. Just make sure we're braking on the inside foot. That will take you to about 5 yards. Second inside step is what drops my hips. Then I have a stop route, 1, 2, third inside, or excuse me, that one's going to be off your fourth inside. My apologies. It's going to be your fourth inside on the stop route, not the third inside. So fourth inside step, and that fourth inside step is what stops you. I will rewind this so you guys could take another look at it. So I'm coming off here. Let's count the steps. So I'm here, first inside, second inside, third inside, fourth inside. And that fourth inside is where you're dropping the hips, trying to put the brakes on right now so that quarterback can get you the ball. So that's the second route that we got, right? So now we're going to be doing straight up comeback route against zone. So this is also going to be off of my fourth inside step. So I come off here, 1, 2, 3, 4, snap this thing off, and then I'm breaking this thing right back. So I think that I didn't include the comeback in here because that's pretty simple. This is the come back and go, excuse me. So we're coming up here. It's going to be off your fourth inside step, fourth inside. Now on this come back and go, the fourth inside step will take you to about 15 yards, right? So when it takes you to about 15, it's very tough to get out of this break in 3 steps only. So if you guys do this come back and go and you take 5 steps, that's completely fine. Now, again, I would love to try to get it in 3. On a curl route, it's a little bit easier to get it in 3, but I would love for you guys to try to get this in the least amount of steps you can, but be more focused on eliminating time and selling the comeback rather than getting out of it in least amount of steps, because you don't want to slow down. You want the hip drop to slow you down. So you see how I go here, I snap with the fourth inside, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I break off of the 6th step. So if it's 6 steps or 4 steps, either one I am okay with. Just make sure that we actually commit my hips down that 45 to get that DB2 jump. Let's watch the thing again, full speed. Fourth inside step, I'm popping this thing right off, selling like I'm coming on that comeback, and then bursting back up vertical. So that's that comeback and go route. Just make sure we don't forget to run that actual comeback route, because that's the one that builds into that thing, okay? So now, day 23, we're going to be working on our press releases in our hands, same thing as usual. So we have the dynamic warm-up routine and our everyday drills. Then we have split 1, which is a wide step crossover drill. That I'll explain that. That's kind of a more advanced release. Then we have a triple step release with a cone. And it's going to be like you're bursting off and running at a 45, like a slant. And then we have full routes. So we have a triple step slant, a triple step outside release fade, and then a wide step double tap slant. So let's get into those, okay? So now, first drill is the wide step into the crossover. So what it is, it's like you're trying, and then obviously split 4, we have the tennis ball drills. So the wide step into the crossover is like you're stepping wide, and then you're kind of being patient, and then you go hit them with a 1, 2. So it's like you step with the right, it's like the same wide step, then you come to balance, left, right. So it's right, left, right. That's how we're trying to take this step. Right, left, right, and we're taking the inside release on this thing, okay? Let's watch it both ways, and then if we were to come back to this red cone, it would be left, right, left. I'll play it full speed. So I'm coming off, right, left, right. That's exactly how you guys should be playing this thing. There's a pause in between the 2 releases. Then we come back here, left, left, or right, left. So it's left, right, left, and then I'm bursting back off on this slant route. It's really important that after that wide step, you guys kind of come to balance for a second just to get your feet up together so you could hit that same exact cut that we were looking at, okay? So now, next drill we got is a triple step, like kind of slant route drill. So all we're doing is we just need 4 cones. We're lined up right here, and you got to remember that if you're doing a triple step release, you want to step to the side opposite of where you're going first. So all we need is 3 cones kind of set up in a zigzag pattern where it's like right, left, and then right. Or if we were on the other side, it'd be left, right, and then left. But all we're doing is we're pretty much just stepping to each cone, pumping my arms, trying to be quick to be able to get out of this release as fast as I possibly can. So I come off here, it's just right, left, right, bursting off, and then we're running this slant route. Okay, so now we got this like kind of triple step slant route right here. So same idea, I'm going to be going here, 1, 2, 3, breaking off on a slant, just like the drill we were doing. That's the first route. And then we have a triple step fade where you would step inside first rather than stepping outside first like a double move. So I would go 1, 2, 3, head down, burst up on the fade. And then I have that wide step double tap release where I'm running a slant route, right? So again, I step wide, I get that DB to maybe jump outside of his frame. I'm here, then I hit him with that 1, 2 again, and then I'm off right on that slant. Let's watch that one full speed one more time. Those are the 3 routes that we're going to be working, right? So we have that triple step slant, triple step fade, and then we have this wide step into a double crossover, and then bursting off on a slant route as well. Those are the routes for today, okay? So now, just day 24, this is an all route running double move day, okay? So this is just all the double moves that we need to be doing. drilling. That's what we're going to be focusing on this day. So it's going to be just straight up route running. We're not going to be doing any drills. It's just going to be all routes. So we have a hitch and go on the second inside, and then we have a sluggo. We already went over that, so we won't go over that in the video, but we have a sluggo off the 3-step slant. We have a corner post. We have a post corner. We have an out and up, and those are all going to be on those specific steps. You see the steps on this, and then we have a curl and go, and then we also have a comeback and go, but we're not going to go over that because we already discussed that earlier in this plan, okay? So these are the routes that we're going to be working. We got 3 sets of each route on each side, so it will be a lot. And then to finish off day 24, we're going to end it with our med ball lunge routine that we love to do, okay? So now let's get into this clip right here. Let's get into this first route. We got that hitch and go, right? So I'm coming off here, second inside, snap it. We're reversing out, and then we're slipping back up on the fade. And then the next route we have, I believe, is the corner post. Yep, 3 steps to the corner, back to the post. Just make sure when you guys break to that corner right here, it's off the third inside, and we're only taking 3 steps. So we're going 1, 2, 3, and then I'm really ripping to get back on that 45 to get back to that to get back to that corner or the post portion of it. Excuse me. So for a corner post, same idea. It's only 3 steps down the line. Then this route here is a post corner, same idea. Make sure it's 3 steps on the post, and then I break it back up to the corner. And then the next route I believe is an out and up route. Make sure that's also off the third inside, and we were taking a full 3 steps. This is something that a lot of people don't do on this out and up, is they'll break off the third inside, but these next 3 steps are super choppy. Make sure we actually sell the out route. I break it, 1, 2, 3. I'm taking full strides to sell like I'm actually running on this out route, so I could pop this off and get a DB to actually overcommit because he thinks I'm running the out and up, or he thinks I'm just running a straight out route. And then for lastly, we got this curl and go off the 4th outside. This one I actually do end up getting it in 3 steps because the curl's a little bit easier. But on the 4th outside, I'm dropping my hips down. 2nd step, 3rd step, 4th step, I throw off the 4th. Either 4 steps or 6 steps is completely fine in this case, but that's what we're trying to get to, trying to sell like you're just running this route and coming straight back down on this curl angle. That is the last route that we're going to be doing on that complete double move route running day, okay? So now day 25, super easy. We got a rest day. Rest day is real easy for us, just nice, easy, relaxing day. Just get some ice in, rest, stretch. Just make sure your body's healthy for these last couple days so we can finish up on this plan and get some good work in on these last 2 days, okay? So now, day 26 is what we're going to be looking at next. So day 26, same idea, dynamic warm-up, everyday drills. You guys already know. Then for split 1, we have a wide step drill, wide step into a double tap on that line of like 4 cones that we've worked previously. And then for the split 2, we have a 6-cone rocker step drill. So we're combining the wide step and the wide step double tap with a rocker step, and those are going to build into our full routes. Okay, so for our full routes, we have a wide step, 3-step slant, a wide step to a rocker step corner, a wide step to a rocker step post, and then a wide step double tap comeback off of the 4th inside step. Okay, so this is the last day we're going to be doing a lot of physical drills and a lot of physical activity before we get into running a complete route tree, and then our last rest day. Okay, so this is that last day of heavy lifting, I would say. So for first split, and then obviously at the very end, we got our tennis ball routine because same deal. It's a press release day. It's a press release emphasis day. So we're always going to be working our catching. Okay, so now for a wide step, you get these 4 cones. So these 2 drills are going to build off each other. So we're just working on this wide step with the back leg. We're trying to step over the line and step through these cones. You guys have probably done this if you've had a previous plan with me. You did the first version of our workout plan. But all we're doing is we're just working on that wide step, stepping over the line. For the first 2, we're doing the same wide step. Then for the last one, we are bursting off on a slant route on this wide step, just off of this 1 step. So bam, step wide, then we're back over the middle. Now for this next one, we got the double tap. So I'm doing the same wide step, but then I'm throwing a cut back to the inside like I'm doing a fade route or an outside release route to be able to create separation on the outside. So I come off here, let's watch this full speed. So I go 1, 2, I'm stepping over the line with the inside foot. And on the last one, I'm doing these first 2 cones, I'm really focused on stepping over the line. Then the last one, it's the same release, but I'm bursting off of this thing to get back up vertical. Okay, so now this is that 6-cone rocker step drill that I'm doing. So what we're doing is we're bursting up, and it's going to be your first inside step is the first rocker step. So we're going, that's my first rocker step, and we're trying to get to each cone. So we're going right, left, right, left, right, left, and I'm bursting off the left, coming back on like a 45-degree angle on a post, and then all you could do is just switch your feet to work it on going the other side, okay? So let's watch it full speed. Biggest thing is we're stepping to each one of these cones. I come up 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, bursting off on that post, and it would be the same thing flipped. So that is that 6-cone rocker step drill that we were talking about, okay? So now, last routes that we want to talk talk about here is we're going to be talking about wide step, 3-step slant. So I'm taking the wide step, and then it's my second right leg that breaks it off. So I step wide, 1, 2, pop this thing right off and run a slant. And then the next one I have is the wide step into a rocker step corner. So it's going to be off of my third outside step. So I go here, I step wide, make sure we were stepping wide outside the DB's frame. I burst up, first outside, second outside, third outside starts the rocker that we were just working on, that 6-cone drill. Every single drill, every single press release that we do all builds into the final product, which is actually running the full route that I'm able to get off on this corner. And then now for this one, I work that wide step into a post with the rocker step off of the third inside. So I come off of here, hit him with the wide step, first inside, second inside, third inside, and I break this thing right off right here. And then same kind of rocker step that we were emphasizing on that 6-cone drill to get me right off this thing on that post. And then now I have the double tap into a comeback, right? So I hit him with that wide step double tap, so it's bam, bam. Hit him with the same wide step that I was working on that 4-cone drill. And then I burst up off the fourth inside, 2, 3, 4. I snap this thing off, and I'm just running a straight comeback off of this thing. So that is the last day of heavy lifting, fellas. Now we go into day 27, which is our full route tree day. So dynamic warm-up, everyday drills, full routes. Every single route that we worked in that last route running period that we did throughout the week. And you got 2 sets of each route on each side, 2 good reps of each route on each side. And that should do it. That should be the last day that we're going to be doing physical stuff. Then we have day 28, which is our rest day, where you guys can relax and take in what all the stuff that you guys learned from this plan that you did for a full month. Okay, so I appreciate you guys sticking this thing out. I appreciate you guys sticking to this plan. I hope you guys like this format where I kind of broke it down and explained each drill step by step, day by day, rather than just talking about it and then showing you the drill full speed and then moving on to the next day where you guys have to play it back. So I hope this helped you guys out. I hope you got some value from it. If you have any questions on any of this, any questions on some of the new stuff that we may be doing, check out that email at the very top of the document we sent you, support@firstdowntraining.com. Will really help you guys out, and 24/7 support, whichever we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. We get a few inquiries in there, but if you guys email us, we will get back to you as soon as possible if you have any questions. Appreciate you guys doing this. Appreciate you signing up. We'll see you next time.